Tell us about the PM picture.
I sometimes love irritating people, right? Because they're so invested in my life. Where's she going next? Where's she going next? People say, हमने तो कहा था, 3 महीने पहले कहा था, ये Parliament Delegation में गई थी, वहीं पे हो गया था.
You're Shashi Tharoor in a sari, basically. That's what you are.
I don't know whether that's a compliment for Shashi or a compliment for me.
When you were talking about Operation Sindoor and that it was necessary and it was successful, when you were saying this in different parts of the world, back home, your own party was critical of that.
That I'm a very vocal member of the opposition when I'm in my country. But when I'm outside my country, I'm the ambassador for my nation.
Why can't you be ambassador to the nation when you're in the nation? Violence that was used against people who were Hindi speakers and did not speak Marathi.
Our party has had a very clear stance that there can be no violence.
The Shiv Sena is all about violence over language.
No, we have changed over the years. But in this particular case, it wasn't coming from us.
For Jaya Bachchan, what is it? You turn back and you look and the expression on your face was not again.
Jaya ji has her boundaries about photographs. Maybe people also would need to realize that there are some certain places and certain spaces. Maybe just ask before wanting a photo.
Who would you like to be with?
Oh, let me just do Amitabh Bachchan ji then. रिश्तों में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं. नाम है शाहिनशाह.
Your Rajya Sabha term is ending soon. People are curious to know that in which party we're gonna switch and why.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching or listening to another edition of the NI podcast with Smita Prakash. My guest today is Priyanka Chaturvedi, Member of Parliament from the Rajya Sabha. She featured in episode 12 of the podcast. Thank you, Priyanka ji, for being part of the...
Priyanka ji? Priyanka.
Okay, all right, Priyanka. I have your permission to say that.
Of course.
So, great to have you. But I just want to know, are you going to be controlling me?
That's become a question which I'm being asked now so often. Like my husband says, you can't even control me, forget controlling anyone.
I would think that the children would say that, right? Your kids would say
my
this.
My children are having a good laugh at my expense these days.
So, but tell me, did the Bachchan family say that, please inhe control kijiye? Have you taken on that role on your own for Jaya Bachchan? What is it?
No, it was just, you know how the parliament works, right? We just had about 4 minutes to speak. And she had 4 minutes. She started off well. And then, of course, the heckling begins and she was getting distracted. So her notes were lying right there and I just pointed to her notes. So while she was responding that way, she saw me pointing at her notes. She said, don't control me, Priyanka. And I burst out laughing because I was like, this was such an Abel mujhe maar moment. she's going to shout at them. Maine apne upar le liya. And the entire chamber started to laugh. And immediately after that, we headed out for lunch. And I told her, look, there was no internet inside the chamber. Now I'm going to check Twitter and they're all going to be trolling me because of this thing that you've got. And you know, when I saw it, it had gone just boom, boom, boom.
It became viral.
It became quite viral.
But then everything that she does has got viral. And today, as we are recording, 10 minutes back.
Oh yeah, we were together.
Yeah, and you turn back and you look and the expression on your face was not again.
It was like, we are all again, the same scenes being enacted again. But you know, I personally feel that Jaya ji has her boundaries about photographs. The world knows about her, you know, feeling offended about and even asking for photos. So you must learn to kind of respect that. Many times I've seen that people just come, of course, hamari koi is level pe nahi hoti, photo koi khicha hamari. But, you know, it does happen. Maybe people also would need to realize that there are some certain places and certain spaces. Maybe just ask before wanting a photo.
I think Naman had a question on today's
Don't you agree?
event.
I mean, wouldn't you agree? Would someone just come and shove you know, their selfie on you?
Do you think it could have been handled better? She's a sitting MP and it doesn't send a message well when you're pushing someone away in front of cameras. You know, videos are getting viral.
I do understand your sentiment and I shall also convey that to her. But at this point in time, I just feel that I think there's also this feeling that respect my boundaries.
So
I was there for some other thing and the person just comes, it was literally on her and taking that selfie.
So that happens with many women that you feel they come just too close and which
I
people
to tell
don't
them, you know,
realize.
I'm like, भैया थोड़ा दूर यार, थोड़ा distance लेकर खींचो, photo खींच लो, मैं मना नहीं करूँगी.
No, even in airports, there are men who put their hand on the on the shoulder while they ask you कि selfie, can we take a selfie? Then you say yes, and then they put their hand on the shoulder or they stretch across. So now I've learned one thing. I buy a coffee as soon as I enter the airport. So when somebody comes, we want to shake hands, I say sorry. Coffee. Bag, I can't.
See, you've also found a way to handle this.
I found a way,
right?
but I do say haath nahi, paas nahi, or something. But I don't know. I think
proximity. Sometimes I guess everyone has their own way of dealing with it, and her dealing is something which goes so viral all the time.
And I think now it's become a thing. People, there will be one person. Sometimes I feel वो जान के करते हैं कि क्या है कि हर outing में हो रहा है.
What happens is when we went to the Constitution Club, एक तो Constitution Club का election ऐसा हो रहा है जैसे president के election से ज़्यादा important है. All the MPs, former MPs were right there. They were all crowding the main entrance area. So when you go to vote inside, it's peaceful. But outside, there are like both camps standing there. Is taraf, kis taraf jaye types. And all are friends, right? And the best part is both are BJP. So I went to just see like how does BJP fight BJP. Right?
Who did you vote for?
I'm not telling you.
ये इतना कोई बड़ा election नहीं है that you can't tell me.
अरे झगड़े हो जाएंगे. ऐसा हो रहा है क्लेश हो जाएंगे क्लेश.
Kalesh हो जाएगा. Okay, that bad, huh? I know it's been fought very, very
seriously. First I thought it's like, okay, fun, club election and all that. But then it started to get serious. Both sides calling, hello. I'm like, so at first I was enjoying the fun, like, two BJP men fighting, two sides and just say we keep hearing sides happening. But now we're seeing that happen in BJP.
But you're saying everybody
Amit Shah is supporting this side. Yogi Adityanath is supporting the other side and I'm loving it. So...
but
I don't know if that's true.
But one of them is from UP, you're from UP originally.
Sanjeev Balyan. No, but I don't agree with every UP wala, no? Or I don't disagree with every Bihari. So, I mean, one is from Bihar, Rajiv Pratap Rudhi ji, and one is from Uttar Pradesh.
But you're saying everybody's friends. Now suddenly you're friends with even Priyanka Gandhi, and one is watching you working in with...
Oh yeah, that just happened coincidentally. I was just giving a TV bite and I was rushing in and she also just came in there. So we have a very cordial relationship, the two of us. So it was just a...
So since I first had you on the podcast when we were just in
where you were trying to get me to say something.
We were just in episode 12 and now a lot of time has passed. You're a parliamentarian of seniority now since you came on the podcast.
One-term seniority.
But काफी हुआ ना 2 साल हो गए 2.5 साल हो गए since it happened. So and also that was a time when I was also learning about podcasts and
now you're doing like tremendously well.
I don't know.
You seem to be totally enjoying it.
I am. But at that time I was cashing in on all my friendships ki please aa jao. And you were kind enough to come at that stage. So what is it like your experience been as a parliamentarian?
As a parliamentarian, my entire experience has been, I would say, very, very interesting. I've got a ringside view of many things that shape the country's narrative. I've been able to participate in shaping those narratives, especially the women reservation bill was something really a milestone moment for me. I wish it was implemented sooner, immediately, but anyway, I was part of that history making. I'll also be making history by, seeing 3 vice presidents in one term. I've also been suspended, so that is also experience I got, where I got to sit next to the Gandhi statue and get some wisdom from him perhaps. So it has been an experience, and I've also taken up issues which I believe were close to people's hearts and where people felt that you could be the people's representative and could put their mind. Of course, the trolling comes with it, things come with it. But I have had quite an interesting experience, and of course, getting to meet lots of people, lots of minds, differing points of view which do not exactly match yours, but you sit in the canteen and you try to, understand the other side of the view also. So it's been pretty interesting.
How did your children react to the suspension?
Okay, so when I came out, I'm sure it was ANI that made it viral. I blame ANI for everything that goes on.
Okay, take it.
So, so I came out of the parliament. First I, rushed inside the deputy chairman's chamber. And I said, how could you name me? How could you suspend me? You all are messing around with my career. And I came out like that, Kishyani Billy, like, how dare they, kind of a mode. So,
baal kahin ja rahe hain.
I also remember it was a blue sari, red lipstick. I don't know. And my children just sent me that and they said, you're looking really funny. I was like, when I listen, and my sisters are telling me that, look, Priyanka, you know, during your entire school life and your college life, not a single teacher or professor ever reprimanded you or shouted at you. Now, in front of the nation, you've been suspended. How does it feel? So they were making me feel better about whatever had happened. But I was like, really, it took me more than them. I think they took it in a better sporting manner than I did.
Than you did. And any questions on this and about the vice president? Interesting take you had.
What do you think could be the main reason behind his resignation? And if I'm not mistaken, you were speaking about it and you said when you wanted to have more time, wanted more time to speak in parliament, you asked him and he said, come to my chambers, we'll speak there. Was in any way you were trying to implicate that, was he sexist?
No. He was,
in any terms?
to be honest, he was very empowering as far as women are concerned. He was the first one to initiate this process of getting more women to come and sit on the chair and get an experience. So that was a 50% reservation which he did. He always kept telling us that he has a daughter and he understands why women need to be out there and getting the exposure, the experience to be able to, sit on that chair and be able to manage the workings of the house. What I used to find problematic was the ability. So when Venkaiah Naidu ji was the vice president then, if he liked someone speaking and what they were speaking was making sense, he would give you more time. In this particular case, out of the 4 minutes that you get, 3 minutes you get, you anyway have to be so to the point, and then there would be constant disruptions coming from the chair. Multiple times we've had disagreements on 0 hour, when 0 hour was just not balloted. And every time I used to try and raise it, that what is the process and procedure, they would say, no, we cannot be talking it from here. You come to the chamber, we will talk in the chamber. So I was like, whatever can be spoken on the floor of the house, why do we need to discuss it in the chamber? So there was a lot of expectation of, okay, so if I give you this, if I give you a 0 hour, this is what y'all should be doing as a political party. So I felt that was a bit incorrect, to be kind of manipulating to get the house to work as per your...
But all of you had a very abrasive relationship with him.
Absolutely.
It was like, so much so that Jaya Bachchan was like very angry when every time he used to say Jaya Amitabh Bachchan. In fact, I asked him also, I said, she gets upset. So why do you keep saying Jaya Amitabh Bachchan? Why don't you just call her Jaya Bachchan, which everybody calls her?
True.
He says, but in parliament, her name is written as that.
No, Smita, that's also an incorrect thing, I must say. Every woman parliamentarian has to put in a middle name, either your husband's name or your father's name. So there is, even my certificate, because I come from Maharashtra, Maharashtra has a middle name. So I had put Priyanka Vikram Chaturvedi, my husband's name. And it is on the record, my certificate shows Priyanka Vikram Chaturvedi. I brought it to his notice that while you call me Priyanka Chaturvedi, why is it that she gets this reminder all the time? Which is not right? So... he said, okay, so I'll also start calling you that. But he never called me that. But the point is that there were differences in terms of response. And if a member of parliament who has come by the way of her ability to be there, and for whatever her past career has been, our current career is, but when she's in the parliament, she's a parliamentarian.
Yeah.
She's you give her the respect. And if she's saying she does not appreciate being called with the full name, why continue doing it?
But... now all of a sudden Jairam Ramesh and the others are like so concerned about him. How come pehle to they were so against him, or ab when he has resigned everybody so concerned?
Okay, my concern, I don't know why they are concerned, but it is actually concerning if I look at it from a non-parliamentarian point of view, that here is a vice president who loved his own voice, who loved to see his own face. He had 3 camera crews with him all the time, recording everything. And suddenly he's disappeared from the face of the earth. Do you know anything about it? Do you know anything about it? And nobody seems to be even curious what happened. And so we have to keep reminding ourselves that, hello, there was a vice president who used to love the media, who used to be out there. Sansad TV would be dominated by him. Television screens of Rajya Sabha TV were dominated by him. All his meetings were out there, covered by, just about all news channels, and he's just gone.
So, do you think it's true? Because it's all hearsay that he was working behind the scenes to topple the government and things like that. Ye sab rumors hain. Nobody really knows. Have you heard of these?
I heard a lot of this buzz that, oh, he was plotting and he was calling members of parliament for lunches and he was having these. But I never got invited for any lunch, so I can't speak.
Okay.
But he used to be very rude in his demeanor too. Like I remember once, Jayaji was sitting, so where Jayaji sits, just before, ahead of that is Pawar Sahab seat and my floor leader, Sanjay Raoji's seat. And I was sitting on, Sanjay Raoji was speaking and I was sitting on Sharad Pawarji's seat because it was vacant. And he just turned around to me and he said, you know how many years of struggle it takes for someone to become a front bencher, and you backbencher coming and sitting here and trying to act smart. I was like, I hope to be here in the front benches someday in my life. But you cannot talk to me like this. Even if I'm a backbencher, I've made it through this process. No one has given it to me in Khairat. I've worked for it just like you, perhaps I've worked for it. I remember once him saying that, he said something really nasty. So he had this habit of just getting under your skin at times. So yeah, the love for him or whatever it is, we do miss him getting under our skin, I guess.
I guess you like a good spat also. Somebody.
Yeah, I mean, something to look forward to. Aaj kiska kalesh hone wala hai.
Okay, but we've seen of late the women all getting together, taking pictures, whether it was at Mahua's reception or at the other parties which opposition leader Rahul Gandhi ke yahan tha, and then later Kharge ji's. There's everybody, all women getting together for a women picture. That's a very new thing, right?
No, I don't know. I haven't really seen it through that lens. But yes, if everybody is dressed up and the women are wearing bright, colorful sarees and we are meeting off the parliament, so we do end up taking these pictures. So yesterday's picture, of course, where we were at the dinner hosted by Shri Kharge ji, the LOP from Rajya Sabha and Congress President, I do remember everyone was dressed up in nice sarees and Jayaji, and we also convinced Jayaji to be part of the photograph.
Okay.
So that in itself was a
she's
success story.
standing next to Sonia Gandhi.
Yeah, yes. So
that also is a lot of
yes
talk the first day that they were
so they
together.
get along very. And when that showdown happened between the vice president and Jayaji, it was Sonia ji who stood up and said this is unacceptable. The language that was being used for Jayaji by the chair. So we've seen that camaraderie happen and come along.
But for a long period of time, they didn't talk to each other. Everybody knows about the history of that, the Bachchan family and the Gandhi family. And this is when Sonia ji, when she came to India, she first stayed in the Bachchan household before marriage. And then after that, there was that rift for whatever reason during Amitabh Bachchan's politics. And then somebody asked Amitabh Bachchan once that, what has happened? And he said, wo Raja hai, hum rank. Raja decides the relationship. But now it seems like bygones.
I've also read it in the papers and seen it in the media. But it's nice to see the women rally along together. Because I must say something, Smita. Lok Sabha, of course, has 13% representation. Rajya Sabha has much lesser. And it is very difficult for women to fight own biases and also to be able to rise above their own politics. They are so bound by their political parties that there are very few women who will rise above it and speak on it. So those kind of outspoken women who could be outliers, who could be confident senior politicians who have seen the journey, have experienced the journey, to get together, ally together and speak on a larger format. Our voices cannot be invisibilized forever. So that way, I think that camaraderie is important, and we've seen that. I think it's just evolved. It's just nice to see.
I think somebody had a question on women politicians.
What are your thoughts on women in politics for someone without a family background, like unlike leaders like Supriya Sule? How challenging is it to establish oneself in the field?
What is the most challenging? Of course, it's a challenge that my journey has been very unconventional. So I can't say that I'm the typical woman who has seen the fight. But yes, I have fought my fight. My fight has been very different on various formats. I came straight on television. I was known to communicate, and because of which I did get a lot of public attention. And everything I do gets a lot of media traction or media narrative, or people sitting and talking about what my career move will be or what I want to do. So that is one thing that just sometimes pulls me down, because this entire attempt every time that, for example, when I went to meet the Prime Minister, Honorable Prime Minister, there was so much, chatter around it. So the journey, of course, if you can let go of the noise and just focus on what you want to do and where you want to be, then it becomes a more, I would say, a easier space to travel. But if you're distracted by so much noise around you, and it's full of noise, that is when it becomes tougher, where you're trying to satisfy every section or trying to answer to every question coming your way. Sometimes you just have to let people do what they want to do, judge you the way they want to do, not your space, not your place. So yes, it is tough, and for women also to constantly prove themselves all the time that yes, we are better informed, we can make a better argument, we can be a better candidate, is tough. It's not easy.
I want to know about the future of individuals who are unknown, like they don't have any family background in politics. Then what is their future in Parliament?
No, the future is very good for women especially, because if we are having the reservation bill come in, you're going to have political parties scrambling all over the countryside looking for women who would want to contest. So again, there is no pipeline. Nobody is building on that. No pipeline to get women leaders, to get them to understand how the process works. None of them are doing that exercise either. So when it comes to the point where every political party will have to give 33%, reservation, that is when it will begin. I would say to every young woman out there that this is the moment that you start focusing on it if that is what you want. You start focusing on it, start working on it, but most importantly, stay committed to it. If you're not committed to being there or being heard, then it's easier to get lost. But when you're committed to be there, making a noise, getting judged, getting trolled, getting abused at times, and getting character assassinated, noise. Right? So and I think this is the best time for women to consider their career, their political trajectory, because spaces would open up in assemblies. It would open up in parliament. The local bodies are already, they had quite a few women. So it's these which if you're aiming for, should be working on.
It's, when we see pictures of all the women politicians standing, literally 10 to 15% of the women politicians are self-made. In the sense they are not ex-MLA's daughter or ex-MP's daughter, wife. Everybody is connected in some way or the other. I think extension of what she's saying. Just very few of you are self-made out there. So it's a valid question that if there's a young woman getting into it, forget about the trolling and all, wo to baad mein aayega. What is the entry point? How do you get in? In the sense, first the door has to open.
So the entry point is this. When I started out, there was an organization which was looking at revamping and bringing in young voices, which was the Congress party at that point in time, through the Indian Youth Congress. So you first, in your mind, decide whether you want to work organizationally or for electoral politics or electoral outcomes. And even if you want electoral outcomes, you will have to work for a party, for them to get to know you, to be confident enough to offer you that ticket. So that is first entry point, that you are in there working, either taking a position in the organization or helping some elected representative and understanding how their system works. That is how I got my first responsibility. I also knew what I was bringing to the table. Most importantly, you all should know and be confident about what you're bringing to the table. If you don't know what you want, then it's easier to get lost. So for me, I knew I could handle communication. I was good with that, and that is the department I would want to serve in. And I worked towards it, and that is where I managed to find my place. And so once you know, so let's say agriculture interests you, or farmers interest you, or their issues interest you, or OBC reservations interest you, or something, or some social justice issues interest you, then you work in those departments in the organization. The organization also needs to get comfortable with what you're doing. And then committed to it. Give time to the system. Be seen, be heard. And that is when it grows. When people start to know you, they know that, she's here, she can handle this. Know the area you're coming from. Work with the member of parliament in that area. That is how it began with me. I started to work with the member of parliament in my area, which was Gurudas Kamaji then. He was very encouraging, very supporting. And you would find that most of them are very encouraging and very supporting. It's just that the sense of commitment, and of course, there are many letdowns. Sometimes you don't even get a place to sit. Sometimes you're not even called. Sometimes you're waiting for hours and there's no outcome. So, and uncertainty is the part of the political setup. So that is how it begins. Get familiar, get to know people, get to know people who work and around the things that interest you and where you think you can best contribute.
You talked about trolling. How do you cope with it? Because everybody has a different way of coping with it. It's easy to say that, it's just noise, it doesn't bother. But then the trolling happens where your photos are morphed, the children are dragged in, families dragged in. When those kind of things happen, how do you cope with it?
So I actually, I find it very difficult to say, no, I don't bother. I do get bothered.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you put out something there and there are thousands and thousands of people making a comment on you and saying things about you, it just gets to you at times. So many times I just switch off. I don't go on social media then, and I just stay away. But when it comes to my children, is a no-go. You don't bring my children into it. I will drag you to the courts and I will never let you forgive or forget what you've done, messed around with. So that is something which is no-go for me. My children are not in political space. They are not in public space. They are very happy with their private lives. For you to bring them in and start making comments, and there are several comments, which again, easier said than done, that I don't bother. But I've started to ignore as much as I can. And then I do withdraw as well. And what now happens is that people across the world are watching it and they're sending you these, it could be a meme about you, it could be a joke about you, it could be some reel about you. And then even if you wish to avoid it, you're right there. And many times I don't respond to even friends who send it, even if they're sending it in good faith.
There's nothing called good faith.
I
Please.
agree with you. I agree on this with you.
Yeah, just because there's somebody saying something critical, why do you have to forward it?
Forward it to me. Exactly. That is something I just never understood. Someone's
What are
writing
you
something
trying to-
about me.
yeah.
You think I would not know they're writing about me.
Yeah.
You think you are better than me where social media is concerned.
Yeah.
So don't send me something that you know has been passed down to you. You should actually. You're right. You should be breaking that thread of
Yeah.
sharing.
Why are you forwarding?
Why are you forwarding it and adding to it?
Yeah.
I tell you, once it happened with me.
I don't think you're a friend if you're sending me something written negatively against me.
I agree with you. I've thought over it now that you've spoken it. I totally agree with this. I remember once there was this photograph and I was suspended where Shashi Tharoor, of course, he's also a controversy's child, and so are we, all of us. So he took a selfie and with all 13 of us, 13 MPs. And I think it came in the Times of India, that particular photograph. So it was morphed to show that he's just taking a selfie with me. And viral. And people I know and who I'm very close to started to send it to me. I was like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
Do y'all even try to stop and check that this is not the photo? It was published in the Times of India. It was probably the front page photograph that day. For you all to not even do this and send it to me, you're right. This is not good faith. This is something.
No, this is a vicarious pleasure that, and strangely, people who think they're friends do that. मैं तो then tick mark.
You are very intolerant about it.
I don't care. You call yourself a friend and you're sending it to me. Out you are. I call it Bloc Akram. Totally. But then you can't. You're a politician, so I guess you have to be more tolerant.
So I just smile and I remember one friend telling me that the good thing about you is that you take a joke. And you are able to. What do? You just smile and move on.
I learned that from you long ago when this must be, 7-8 years ago, probably, when one of the earliest interactions I had with you, and when I told you that when Rahul Gandhi was visiting Bombay and you weren't in politics as yet, and you were very happy about it, and you tweeted it like a school kid, you tweeted about it, and I was like, why are you so excited about meeting Rahul Gandhi? This is probably 12 years ago, 13, I don't know.
Yeah.
And you said to me that, you guys live in Delhi. For you, spotting a politician or meeting with a politician is no big deal. But for us in Bombay, and for me who has no exposure to politics, it is a big deal. And I felt, my God, what an entitled brat I am for me to think like that. And I had to, rewire myself and say that, my God, you're entering into that snob territory where you think... And I did.
In fact, when I entered the chamber the first time ever for the oath, I was seeing Venkaiah Naidu ji for the first time. And I'm seeing all these, politicians and leaders who I've been seeing over the years, and they're like right up front. I was like this, person who's just seen something brand new and totally in awe. and awestruck literally. It took me
Yeah.
some I mean, I hate to say that, but it was a bad period for the country and the world that we were going through COVID at that time. And I could at least manage that, the excitement, to control my excitement, because they used to sit in the Rajya Sabha chamber, I used to sit in the Lok Sabha chamber. But when I used to see them all in the central hall, I used to be so wide-eyed and
Yeah,
so
that's
fascinated.
nice. I hope you keep that innocence going with you, where you are fascinated that these are people like, who've achieved a lot in their careers. So we appreciate. I know when my mom took a selfie with a very young spokesperson once, and like, he was really young. He was just in his late 20s probably. And she took a picture and she said, "I'm a fan of yours." I told her, "Why did you have to say that? He's so young and you told him you're a fan." So she said, "Yeah, but I see him on TV debates and he conducts himself very well. So if I'm a fan, it's all right." So I was like, "Okay, sorry." You're right, so I just stopped myself, and I was getting into that zone.
Even now end up saying it. There was someone I met in the, I mean, at Shashi Tharoor's chart party, mango party that he has annually. So we had gone for the mango party, and you remember George Clooney, weather
Yes,
and all
yes,
that?
yes,
Do you remember
yes,
those?
yes,
How
absolutely.
openly we used to speak
to,
about
yeah.
it, and without getting trolled or without getting judged. So I happened to meet somebody who had done this. I mean, I can.
Sukh list was
Yes,
there.
yes, and I ended up saying it, blurting it out. And a lot of media guys were standing with me, and they later told me that, your overreaction was a bit much. I was like, listen, learn to deal with it. This is how I am. If I like something, I like someone, I'd say it. And I don't have any hesitation
So there
or
was
any...
this whole Nayan Sukh list, in case those who don't know, and
That
old
was a Twitter.
where we used to say that good-looking politicians or something like that, right?
Very rare.
And I think Shashi Tharoor was there in it, or Omar Abdullah.
Omar, of
and then
course.
somebody turned around and says, the right wing ke kam hai, left wing ke zyada hai. I was saying that this has got no connection with wings. It is just...
And the best part is that I got to know Smita much before I got formally into politics.
Yeah.
So we used to have such random social media, Twitter conversations.
Yeah, that was
and
different.
So that was another era altogether. I'm sure none of y'all would have seen that era.
It's a
We've
very
lived
town
that
hall.
era.
Yeah, where you could have actually personal conversations and things like that. There was also songs.
Oh yeah, there was
Usme-
he passed away,
yeah,
Mihir.
Yeah, and even Surekha used to do
Yes,
that.
Surekha
and
also
Sirut
passed away.
Kapile.
That was a very tragic.
But those were times where you could put your personal thoughts on X, then Twitter. You can't do that anymore. It's
I
become...
don't even put photos anymore, Smita, and I hate it so much because there's so much of our lives that we shared there, music, and got to know a lot of people. Even if we had our political choices, which were absolutely...
But you put your personal picture, no? You put when you met with Narendra Modi.
That's not a personal picture.
It's a political picture?
I mean...
Okay.
No, I meant to say...
It's not personal,
I mean,
it's not
it's with
political.
the public...
Social picture?
It's with the Prime Minister
I'm
of
not letting
India.
you complete.
It's with the Prime Minister of India. So, you tend to... And personal picture, I mean, where I'm vacationing with my children. I used to do that as well. So if I'm with my son or with my daughter, I put it on Instagram though, because I have to put it there somewhere. I have to share my life, part of my life with someone.
Yeah.
But Twitter...
Jeans and white t-shirt and white shirts and things like that.
I mean,
No, but tell us about the PM picture.
No, it
You
was
knew
just-
what you were doing, na?
Yeah, of course.
No, in the sense by posting that picture, everybody will say, "Oh, she's
Now
moving."
she's going to go. I sometimes love irritating people, right? Because they're so invested in my life. Where's she going next? Where's she going next? Where's she's going next?
You're Shashi Tharoor in a sari, basically. That's what you are.
I don't know whether that's a compliment for Shashi or a compliment for me.
No,
I'm gonna tell
seriously,
Shashi.
Jaan ke, pange.
It's just now let's see what they say and let's go, dudes, I'm ready.
But how come?
So I put it on Instagram a day prior. Nobody noticed it, right? Nobody. I mean, they did, and it started to make its way on Instagram.
I shared it on WhatsApp groups.
On X and everything, and people started saying, हमने तो कहा था, 3 महीने पहले कहा था, ये Parliament Delegation में गई थी, वहीं पे हो गया था. चलो लगे रहो यार, तुम्हारा खून बढ़ रहा है, तुम्हें judgment मेरा कर पा रहे हो. You know what I'm doing in my life. Please be happy with it. Chalo, let the conversation flow.
Let me ask for the youngsters. Anybody wants to ask about that?
Ma'am, my question is, your Rajya Sabha term is ending soon, right?
Dekha.
So you are earlier with the Congress and later entered in the
UBT.
UBT tickets. So people are curious to know that in which party will gonna switch and why.
You know, that is the conversation which I was talking about, that gets people going. Yes, my term is getting over. And yes, I've had a one term which I think has made more noise than many people having served several terms. So I'm glad about that. I'm happy that I could do something. And let me also tell you another story of one young woman coming from Mumbai, a city which does not have anything to do with politics, with absolutely no family members in politics or by far close to a political family, has managed to, in a nation of 140 crore people, managed to make it to the hallowed chambers of the parliament, even if to serve that one term. I think that is my successful story. It's not, people think that, you know, I've heard of stories of people wanting to retain the Lutyens bungalow and that is why they're willing to do XYZ. I moved from Congress for a very different reason. I mean, a congressman, anyone can vouch for that, whether I asked for an MP, MLA, anything, nothing. It was just that what is destined for you will happen. I don't sit and write my own destiny, my God has. So I'm perfectly placed where I am. And what I found interesting was that the next day when after a party results came out, the assembly election results came out, the next day the headline, one of the headline was smaller stories because someone was, oh look, you're not so important that you made it to the front page. But there's a story which said it would now get difficult for Sharad Pawarji, Priyanka Chaturvedi and Sanjay Rautji to re-enter the parliament because of the numbers they've got. There are 7 MPs, 7 and 6 that come in from Maharashtra every 2 years. So even amongst those, whatever number of MPs that we have, Rajya Sabha MPs totally that Maharashtra has, and one name that comes out is Priyanka Chaturvedi, the first term MP, vis-a-vis Pawar Saab, who's had a, you know, fantastic, phenomenal, non-stop career record in the parliament. And even Raut sir, he has been in the parliament for 4 terms now. For him to be my name to be mentioned with that in itself makes me happy. I have many other things going for me in life. I will be serving my nation whatever capacity I can. And if it is to serve it in an economic business capacity, I shall do it. If it is in, you know, as an ambassador of India, I have been in the foreign policy space for over a decade, to go and continue to speak my India story, put out that India narrative, I shall continue to do. So there are people who make these changes. For me, like I said, if destiny gets me back in the parliament, I will come back to the parliament. If it doesn't, I have plans. I always work on plan A, plan B, plan C.
So you won't jump a party for the sake of a parliament seat?
No, it's not going to happen. As much as people,
Suppose
but I don't
gives.
want to take the joy away from people.
So suppose Mamata Banerjee offers you a Rajya Sabha.
I don't want to take the joy away from anyone's life. Let them speculate. Let the conversations keep happening. That is what I want to do. So I will leave it with this. I will leave it with this, that whatever is destined for me, the destiny will choose my God has willed. I'm not the creator of my destiny. I'm only working as per the will of someone supreme out there.
You have a lot of goodwill in all the political parties. So ab tak to
Which is,
aage honge
you know,
offers.
sometimes I joke about it. Ke ek kaam karte hain. Let's create history, okay? Let's have a consensus candidate in the Rajya Sabha.
Acha.
So 2 months I shall be your spokesperson, 2 months I shall be your spokesperson. But that's a joke. The point is that it's interesting to see, or maybe also interesting to see, because people have seen my journey on social media. They have been invested in my choices. So they are wondering what next for her. So I'm actually grateful to the attention that I get, and I'll never disregard that. But it also sometimes gives me a certain sense of joy when I see people just randomly discussing my next.
Abhi so much of attention was given whether you know Marathi or not.
Oh yes.
Have you learned Marathi now?
See, I know Marathi. I speak Marathi in closed door formats simply because kuch bhi I make an error or I say something wrong grammatically, it has a negative connotation for my party to address.
Yeah.
So that day, and
I stopped speaking Marathi because of this reason, you know. Because one sentence this
you make
way,
something
that way,
your pronunciation wrong or whatever. So I do, you know, our party meetings are all conducted in Marathi. You know, sir and ma'am and Sanjay Raoji and everybody, they speak in Marathi back home in Maharashtra. I totally understand. I speak to them one-on-one and all that. But I do not make public speeches.
That formal Marathi you can't.
Because if I make some error again, that will be twisted to show in a different format. So that is it. But again, the fight about Marathi was when, at least...
Where do you stand on that?
As far as the party is concerned, see, again, I continue to say, my parents came from north of India. They were the first migrants who moved from Mathura to Mumbai. My father became a chartered accountant there and he settled there. That's where I was born. And the point is that at least respect the language and culture of the state that has given you so much. That was the small point. And our fight against this particular issue was that don't force a language. They had made it compulsory, the third language, Hindi, compulsory. They said, do not do it from grade 1. Do it from a higher grade. Nobody will stop you. But don't force a child to learn. And if Hindi is the language that you're getting us to learn, why can't we learn Sanskrit? Why can't we learn Tamil? Why can't we learn Telugu? And up north, what is the third language wherever Hindi is spoken? What is the third language that they're learning? And it was told it's Sanskrit. Or it could be any other language they wish to learn.
I learned Sanskrit.
So again, why is that option being denied to people from Maharashtra if they want to learn Sanskrit? So that was the point. The GR was withdrawn. That was a victory for the party. And we moved on from there. Listen, Hindi film...
What about the violence that was used against people who were Hindi speakers and did not speak Marathi or wasn't forced, forcing a language for a thelewala, a fruit seller, for why the poor? Why do you tell Bollywood guys,
Hindi film cinema is based out of Mumbai.
Yeah.
Hindi television industry is based out of Mumbai. The cricket, a lot of it comes from Mumbai. Only the, I have to say this, only the newsstatement media is in Noida. The rest of the entertainment comes from Mumbai and Hindi-speaking entertainment. So the problem is not that. A couple of them that you saw, our party has had a very clear stance that there can be no violence. There can be no violence. So
the Shiv Sena is all about violence over language.
No, we have changed over the years. But in this particular case, it wasn't coming from us. It wasn't.
Okay. I'll give you the benefit of doubt on that. And the question on your picture with Mr. Modi still remains as to why did you seek that meeting? Did you seek it or did it come from the PMO?
So I got a call from the PMO's office, which was, it came to my office. That that there is a meeting, he's coming to the parliament premises at so and so time. And I told my party leadership that there is a meeting. And they said, absolutely, if Prime Minister calls a member of parliament, you must go for it. And I met him, had a good, nice 20-minute conversation with him, which was the first time ever. Out of my 6 years, this was in the fifth year, where I was, which I told him, I also told him about this. Then my 5 years, there have been so many parliamentary delegations that have gone to every part of the world. But I was never considered for any delegation, maybe because they think I'm a problem child or a problem opponent, or I will go to other countries and probably embarrass
No, but you have gone on parliamentary delegation.
No, just this one was the only official delegation.
Didn't you go to Turkey or something like that? Didn't Dhankhar?
That was not parliamentary.
Okay. Dhankarji sent you on.
No, Dhankarji never sent me anywhere. Okay. Dhankarji never sent me anywhere. Before Dhankarji, Venkaiah Naiduji didn't send me anywhere.
Okay.
So, and I'm sure the coming vice president also will send me nowhere.
Yeah. So once we get a vice president.
Once we have a vice president. But I'm pretty sure of this fact. So I did tell him that, sir, two things have happened in this year. That I got to go on a parliamentary delegation, and a delegation which I will always hold close to my heart, simply because it is an issue that resonates very, very strongly with me. And B, that I get to see you, one-on-one, because I met him in an all-party delegation where all the MPs were called, whoever went on the delegation. That was the only time I met him, and this was the second time I was having a meeting with him. It was a very nice, cordial 20-minute conversation with the Prime Minister.
Question I wanted to ask on the parliamentary delegation is that there are many people who saw you, even mimic Bilawal Bhutto in that, and that went viral also.
I have to thank ANI for this. I was like, I was making these speeches and ANI ensured that everything was recorded, and
Yeah.
because of which it went the way it did. Boom.
So that was a decision that we took to cover all the parliamentary delegation at every point.
Which was really nice.
Because I thought that this is a historical thing which is happening,
Yes.
and we all had a meeting and we said that this is what we will cover, because it was at every point, at every destination, you were making some statement, some meetings which would be significant, and and sure enough it paid, I think, because everywhere there was something or the other. And that Bilawal mimicry, I mean, those who didn't know that you mimic, that was so good. I wonder whether he's seen it.
I don't know. I won't even want to hazard a guess. But if he's seen it, I hope he gets the stronger message that is there. That you've lost your own family members because of this nexus. Of this military terror nexus. And you going across the world and saying, "Ye khoon raat ki samay pe humle karte hain."
Yeah.
For you to say this is actually very hypocritical. And you're doing huge disservice to your mother's memory. She was killed in cold blood because of this nexus.
Yeah.
And for you to forget your own history
Yeah.
is actually an invitation to allow this to thrive. So that was my point. And I hope if there is any bit of sense of responsibility towards making Pakistan a nation which people can respect in the times to come, is when you will call off this nexus and have a constitution for what it is and have a democratic structure the way it should be.
And also, I think, the personal tragedy that that family has seen, being victim of terrorism, as you say. The second thing which I feel is that one doesn't expect educated politicians, who've had exposure to education beyond that, their madrasa education that they have only, where they think that, Hindu seeing wale hote hain, and Indians are, roaming around the streets singing Bollywood songs, and that's how we live. At least they have exposure. They know what India is. They know what the world is. And for them to talk in such a
I mean, it's just so, and I keep saying this, it's disappointing when you see world leaders actually defend something like this. I won't even call him a world leader, I'm sorry, a Pakistan-based opposition leader, who again, when the army decides, he may in his head think that army will make him a prime minister one day, but the army will decide to dump you, and dump you how? You won't even get to know.
Yeah.
So I think the reality check is very obvious for Pakistan, and to understand that they are facing an abyss. And as a young leader, either you fight that systematically or you go down that abyss.
Totally agree. Any other questions? Yeah.
Even after sending so many delegations, no country openly supported India.
I continue to say this. Which country will openly come and, everyone has a bilateral relation with the other nation as well. And the aim of it was not to call out Pakistan, it was to call out terrorism. And we don't need to go telling everybody, the world, where terrorism emanates from. If US chooses to forget its own history, the 9/11 history, then they'll live to regret it themselves. They will have to face the consequences all over again. 9/11 was plotted, planned in Pakistan. Al-Qaeda was started out of Pakistan. Osama bin Laden was found holed in Pakistan while Pakistan said, "Hello, we are going to be fighting terrorism alongside you." European nations, I went and told European regions the same thing, the Western Europe part that I went to. I said the fundamentalism, the radicalization you face, I know, we all know where it comes from. You don't need to call out a country, you need to action upon them.
Was there pushback when you said this in European countries?
No. They absolutely understand the challenge that they're facing. It is a huge challenge. You're not seeing the people who are coming to their countries assimilating.
Yeah.
And let's say they're coming from the
Syria
African
or
continent
whatever.
or whichever part of the world. But they're getting indoctrinated from Pakistan. The roots go back to Pakistan. I think they were totally appreciative of the fact, and that is the messaging that needed to be sent across, that what has been faced at our door and we've been handling for past 7 decades is coming to your doorstep too. May not come as a full-fledged violent attack like we saw, but it would be in bits and parts and pieces which will divide your society for good.
So when you were talking about Operation Sindoor and that it was necessary and it was successful, when you were saying this in different parts of the world, back home, your own party was critical of that. So how do the two sit?
No, I think, again, I will say this, and which I said it in my first speech also, that I'm a very vocal member of the opposition when I'm in my country. But when I'm outside my country, I'm the ambassador for my nation, irrespective of our political difference. I must say...
Why can't you be ambassador to the nation when you're in the nation?
No, when you're in the nation, you have to ask someone is going to ask how this intelligence failure happened, right?
Fine.
Someone is going to ask that who is going to take accountability for the 26 lives lost. Someone's going to ask that Asim Munir made such a poisonous, toxic statement. Did we work on our intelligence and did we alert our agencies to be on the, on their guard, knowing what's coming? You have a 370 removed, you have a tourism economy going great guns. And suddenly it coming to a full stop, someone's going to ask the tough questions. And it is incumbent of the opposition to ask you that.
So didn't your leadership of your party tell you that you're going a little overboard defending the Modi government?
No, actually, I wasn't going overboard defending anybody.
I'm not saying you were. Did they say that
Not
you
at
were?
all. See, to be fair to my party leadership, they were very clear that as far as India is concerned, we need to speak in one voice. In the all-party meetings also, we had extended our full cooperation and support to anything that the government chooses to do. And if this was part of one of the government mechanisms to reach out and, speak to these people, go as part of the delegation, so be it, be part of it. But however, the tough questions still haven't gone answered really. We had a 72-hour, 36-hour debate on Operation Sindoor, but we did not have the Home Minister come and give anything about what action have been taken within our...
You guys staged a walkout when he was speaking in Rajya Sabha.
Amit Shah ji, we did because he started with "Tum mujhse hi nipat lo, tum Prime Minister." Listen, the point was Prime Minister was to come and speak to in both the chambers. You have to give dignity to the Rajya Sabha too. So you've gone and Prime Minister has spoken for 2 hours non-stop in the Lok Sabha. Come, give the same due and dignity to the Rajya Sabha as well.
So if he doesn't come, then stage a walkout. Is that
so
okay?
it's also about it's a protocol, right? You've answered the Lok Sabha. Come and address the.
Okay, I'm not giving an excuse that whether the Prime Minister ought to or ought not to have come. That's a different point. But what I'm saying is, suppose like a 26/11, because we can compare 26/11 to what happened in Pahalgam, a big enough thing. But somehow when Dr. Manmohan Singh did not address the parliament and somebody else did it on his behalf, whether it was Pranab Mukherjee or Chidambaram or whatever, it was acceptable with...
that could have been BJP's call. That was BJP's ask, okay, if he's not doing it. But also, let's not forget that BJP was coming out with full-page ads about how Congress has been a weak government.
Okay.
All front-page ads. But again, that is BJP, or that time's opposition's call. This time, opposition's call, when the Sindoor discussion began, was that the Prime Minister will address both houses.
Okay, who decides कि हम लोग सब walkout करने वाले हैं? So if Rahul Gandhi decides walkout, does the UBT just walk out just because RG has said it?
No. We have these meetings where the LOP decides that. So, but we were also taken aback that the Prime Minister did not come and address us. And the language with which Amit Shah said कि मैं ही आपसे निपट लूँगा. You don't speak like this. Okay. Let's give the chamber the grace it deserves. So a walkout is still a dignified way. What Arun Jaitley ji and Sushma ji used to say.
You think that the other side, what Kharge ji and what Rahul Gandhi's speech, that was dignified in that?
I don't. If there's some particular context that you're speaking in, then I'd probably be able to answer
some of the things that Kharge ji said, of course. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Whether it's not the tutu meme, so I'll let it pass. And also, I think Kharge ji's seniority is such that nobody ever says anything to him. They just let that pass. But somehow Rajya Sabha just seems a very acrimonious place now. It was not the case. It used to be dignified debates which used to happen because they're elders. But it doesn't seem to be the case now.
When I was growing up and I was seeing these debates happen, such effective parliamentarians speaking their point of view so eloquently, effectively. And Smita, ever since I've got into the parliament, I haven't voluntarily missed a single day of the session. Unless I've taken ill or something, or there is some urgent work that's taken me away. I have been suspended. So. But When I came here, I thought there's so much I'm going to listen, and there's so much I have to take home, so much I have to learn. And then I saw the debates, and I get to speak for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. I was like, ANI is kinder to me outside the chamber, where I can speak for 5 minutes and they don't stop me.
Than in the
They're inside the chamber, right? So, and then you see so much acrimony coming from, I would say now it's both the sides, simply because there's no means of communication. All the communication has broken down.
That's
the worst. That's the worst space to be in, where both sides there's distrust. There is no communication.
Yeah.
There is no a to-go person. Like, for example, a parliamentary affairs minister has a voice with every single, leader of the opposition, who they, when they want to, not disrupt and let the parliament function. So parliamentary affairs minister is a very important position to be in, where you can find some person to connect and say, listen, let's resolve this. There's a central hall, let's go discuss in the central hall and we will resolve this, and let's find some solution. This cannot be forever. That also, that tradition is also gone. There is no central hall, of course. There is no coming together of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha also anymore. So it has led to a feeling of, and every time you're seen with somebody who's maybe BJP, or BJP is seen with somebody who's us, it becomes like, I'm plotting, planning. So
everything is on camera also. That also happens.
Right.
A lot of change. Any other questions? Okay.
Ma'am, while ma'am asked about Operation Sindoor, I wanted to ask you, just when you hit back at Trump, senior leader from your party, Sanjay Raut ji, he called PM Modi a mute PM. Why are there so many mixed signals about it from your party?
My response was to Donald Trump on the basis of what he called a dead economy. If he calls it economic crisis, etc., which we keep saying, that's severe economic crisis, fine. But when you call an economy dead and you do business in India, your Trump empire has grown by various percentage points in my nation, you are actually humiliating all the hard-working people of this country, right from the daily wage laborer to a corporate house which is contributing towards India's growth story. Of course, we are trying very hard. Of course, our per capita income doesn't match. Of course, we don't have enough jobs to offer. Of course, there's a lot of struggle in my nation, which I shall continue to point out. But I cannot have someone coming in and shouting down our throat and saying that, listen, you're a dead economy. So then why the hell are you wanting a trade deal with us? Why don't you just shut your Trump empire and go back to America and build some more Trump towers there? So that was my point. And of course, Raut sir was speaking more from the point of why is the Prime Minister not speaking? But in this particular case, I just felt that the dead economy bit is more a statement about my countrymen. The 140 crore people who are struggling to survive, strive, work hard, thrive, everything.
One BJP MP said that leader said that Uddhav doesn't need an enemy, he has Sanjay Raut. What do you have to say to that?
BJP has so many foul-mouthed people speaking any kind of statements that come into their heads. We've also had one BJP member of parliament abusing another member of parliament. So I don't want to...
It's not as if phool nikalte hai Sanjay Raut ki muh se, wo bhi, he also gives it attack se wapas.
Yeah, so if you're hearing this kind of...
Subah ANI team is there because he has something sharp to say. Uske baad BJP...
He sets the national narrative for BJP to respond to every day. So of course BJP, it hurts the BJP, that's why BJP speaks the way they do.
So you think that the advice that Uddhav gets from Sanjay ji is good?
Absolutely. He's very much a part of, he has suffered the consequences, he's been sent to jail for it, he fought that fight as well. So there is, the commitment to the organization is total. So just because there's a whole lot of chatter about, oh look, he's made some statement and damage, that's absolutely incorrect. He's also someone who listens to everyone within the party. He's been, I would say he's been so encouraging towards me as well.
He's so close to Rahul Gandhi all the time. Protest, maybe he's sitting next to him in the bus going for the lockup. Saath mein baithe hue hain. And then...
So they share good camaraderie together.
Together, no? Anybody else?
मैम मेरा नाम गौतम कुमार है. मैम महाराष्ट्र में इन दिनों देखा जा रहा है कि नेता जो हैं एक दूसरे पर पर्सनल अटैक ज़्यादा कर रहे हैं, इसकी वजह क्या मानते हैं? और किसी भी मुद्दे पर कुछ भी बात हो रही है तो पर्सनल ज़्यादा अटैक हो रहे हैं।
राजनीति का स्तर ही यहाँ पे पहुँच गया है कि हम पर्सनल अटैक के बगैर हम लोगों की बातचीत ही होना बंद हो गया है. दैट इज़ द अनफॉर्चुनेट पार्ट. मैं यही कहती हूँ, ग्रेस और डिग्निटी जो हमने जब हम खुद टेलीविज़न देखते थे, राज्यसभा लोकसभा लीडर्स में देखते थे, वाद विवाद होते हैं पर संवाद कभी ख़त्म नहीं होता है. पर स्तर इस पर आ चुका है कि अब महाराष्ट्र में तो मैंने खास करके बहुत देखा है, क्योंकि हो सकता है इतनी बिटरनेस भी हो गई है, पार्टियों को तोड़ना, जोड़ना, सरकार बनाना, गिराना, और फिर एक पर्सनल बिटरनेस भी हो जाती है. और I must share this with you. सब लोग मुझसे कहते हैं,
हाँ, go ahead.
सब लोग मुझसे कहते हैं तुम आप कांग्रेस से यहाँ गई फिर कहाँ जाएंगी. महाराष्ट्र का कोई भी एक ऐसा एमएलए नहीं देखा मैंने जिसने हर पार्टी में एक टर्म नहीं बिताया हो या टिकट लेकर हार गए हो, whatever. So I find it very
Even Sharad Pawar for that
I
matter.
find it amusing जब मुझसे कहते हैं अच्छा अब ये कहाँ वो कहाँ, and then they talk about a whole lot of moral science lectures that I get.
No, but in your party, continuing with what he said about bitterness, the thing is that Maharashtra politics was a little different from other places in the sense that, you know, everybody kept a certain modicum of respect. But now this whole, I think when the Shiv Sena broke, there was a lot of personal angst. And this
Yes.
whole, you know, you guys calling him Minde Sena and, you know, those kind of things, it was very personal, the attacks, you know, and it had degenerated a lot.
I don't know, the other side also did not spare whatever
Yeah.
they were speaking. And let's not forget, after having got, I don't say that you should be grateful, but being one of the most important party members, core team members of the party, and just overnight trying to arm twist the party into something was also not the right way of conducting yourself. And the comments when Sir was in a surgery, you knew why Sir was away. He was one of those few members who knew that he's going in for a massive surgery, the spinal surgery that Sir underwent. He knew everything about it. He was taking care of most of the things. And for him to say, oh, you were never seen here, you were never seen there. You knew the reasons. That it was a medical emergency which had kept him away. But the CM office was functioning as it should function. And a lot of personal attacks came their way. So it became a free-for-all. Then we saw the NCP split happen. So it led to a whole lot of personal bitterness even amongst people. So it was just so nasty. And
But the split happened in the NCP, but you didn't see Supriya Sule and the others in the family attack
because
each
that's
other.
family, right? And they're interconnected at various levels.
But here there was, when Raj Thackeray moved away and Uddhav was separate, there was a lot of, and now this, it seems a little odd that the two of them have got together. Isn't it opportunism?
No, I don't think this is, see, if it was opportunism, it could have happened any time, right? That they've split and they've come together. What is opportunism is that when you see that there is a cleavage in a political party, so let's use the timing to split a party. What is opportunism is that you, while being a minister in a particular government, you are being given a carrot of becoming a chief minister and you're switching over and splitting and taking an entire party down the way you did. In this particular case, they both came together on this issue of the language becoming compulsory, the third language compulsory. And, you know, Smita, I was also there when the victory rally happened. I can't tell you the kind of excitement that was there in the air amongst the people that wanted to see the two of them together. And I remember saying to myself that if they don't come together now, people won't forgive them. Because the excitement was peak level. Inside the dome, outside the dome, they came like, you know, gaje baje bajate hue, they were coming. From 6 a.m. they had lined up to see something happen at 11 a.m. It was overflowing with crowd. So the sentiment was such. And the feeling right now, and of course with changing times, we don't live in a vacuum. Politics changes every day.
No,
Someone
Gaja
who
Baja,
says
I
ki
don't know.
chakki piecing and then becomes the chief minister with the same chakki piecing gang. So
this Gaja Baja means nothing. Huh? I mean, I've seen huge crowds coming for Rahul Gandhi and everybody was like, oh, this election they're going to win. And
yeah, it could mean
they
nothing.
don't.
It could also end up being everything.
And at the same time, there's sometimes Gaja Baja for the BJP and they lose that seat. So you can, crowds
the
in
sentiment was
in
very
this
different.
country doesn't mean
no,
anything.
No. In that crowd, see that was just not by invitation, not the karyakartas. It was an open for all, jisko aana hai, to celebrate that we have pushed back on something which was not right. They came, the crowds that came in, the barricading that was broken into, and still crowds kept pouring in. It was a very natural momentum. But again, outcomes can differ, but that sentiment is not going anywhere.
Okay.
I saw the sentiment. I'm going on talking about the sentiment per se. What the political outcomes are, what the election outcomes are, that time will tell.
Okay. Any questions?
We have seen protests yesterday also. I don't know if you were missing. We didn't see any pictures of yours.
I was very much there. In fact, I must share the photographs, which I've shared on my Instagram.
Did you jump over a barricade?
No, I don't do jumping. I don't do pushing, shoving.
Did you faint?
No, I did not faint either. But I was almost close to fainting when there were 60 mics around me when I went to the other side of the barricade, 60 mics around me, and I was trying to speak to everybody. And I finally told them, boss, I'm going to collapse if you don't let me sit in the car. So, yes, I was close to fainting, and I didn't faint.
Okay.
But I was very much there right through the walk from the Parliament to the ECI office, but I was sitting on the footpath along with other protesting MPs.
Leader of the opposition alleges that
Just where he was, where Khargeji was sitting, I was right there.
Leader of the opposition Rahul Gandhi alleges that the entire match was fixed in Maharashtra and the results were sort of manipulated, and he said it happened in Maharashtra also, Karnataka also, and Haryana also. Do you think there is some sort of match fixing, or is there anything going on between BJP and EC? Is EC playing at the behest of BJP?
No, I think Election Commission needs to come clean. I'm not saying behest, but the way it's functioning right now, where it refuses to even engage with the opposition in a conversation and dismisses anything coming their way, and you have BJP coming and defending them, is, I mean, from my eyes, it's a bit, not correct way of conducting yourself. Now, in terms of Maharashtra, Lok Sabha to Vidhan Sabha, of course, outcomes can change, right? However, the voter addition of 45 lakh spike in 5 months raises some questions. That was there a sudden population boom in Maharashtra 18 years ago between these 5 months that we suddenly have these voter additions, or people have migrated from other states to be added as voters here? Questions do arise within 5 months. This rise, then he gave with
Then why
some
didn't
data.
your BLAs complain? Why
Again, this is something that Anil Desai ji actually put forward. Recently, this question was asked when Uddhav Saab was here. Anil Desai ji said many complaints reached up to the BLO level, but they're not filed, they're not registered. It happens. And when it's not in the record, it's like not a complaint. For example, I'll tell you, when I got suspended, what was shown to the country was some selective CCTV footage that was coming out of the parliament. I was the one getting suspended. I asked multiple times, all the 13 MPs who were getting suspended, that we should also be heard. And the entire CCTV footage of that particular moment when the protest began, right till the time the protest ended, shown to us as well. It wasn't shown to us.
Look, you're saying that
A decision was taken without even letting us know, without even giving us a chance to be able to talk about what has happened. Similarly, in this particular case, Election Commission of India needs to, they are saying, oh, the BLAs don't tell us, BLOs. There's so many times that complaints are not registered. And of course, there's something that which Shri Rahul Gandhi showed through his press conference. The data is coming from the electoral rolls.
there are lakhs of BLOs. I mean, अगर किसी का नहीं होता, not a single BLO has ever said that मैं file करने गया complaint और उन्होंने record नहीं लिया. Nothing. Now, the election commissioner gave appointment to Jairam Ramesh. He's been saying, मेरे को नहीं आने देते. They say only 3 people from the opposition, only 4 people from the Congress. And then ultimately when he says, I'm coming, I mean, it's like a date not arriving kind of a situation where the election commissioner sitting said 12 baje aa jao, but he doesn't come. And he wasn't there at the protest, I think, Jairam Ramesh.
No, he was there.
He was there.
Everyone was there. They were, see, what they told us was that all the MPs will go up to the election. We are a big nation, 4th largest economy. Our Election Commission of India can at least accommodate 300 people. Chai, pani, nashta to de hi sakte hain. Let's say वो 30 लोगों को अंदर रूम में बुला रहे हैं मिलने को. बाकी सबको तो बिठा सकते हैं, हमें बाहर ही बिठा दो. जैसे जब डिटेल
15 करके आ जाओ ना आप लोग. What is the problem in doing
were
that?
not being allowed at all.
No, so that's what they did, right? He called them and then they don't come. It's the same way as a hackathon होता है, hackathon के लिए नहीं आते.
They said 30 MPs.
Okay.
30 MPs can come.
हाँ.
Who are you all to pick and choose which MPs can come, not come, right? You cannot limit it to 30 MPs. These are all out of the 300 MPs. Most of them are from the Lok Sabha,
So you
elected by
boycott.
the people.
कि नहीं आएंगे.
No, you come and have a conversation, or you come and clarify. Now you're saying, okay, first the argument was show us proof, show us proof. Now he's done a press conference with your own electoral data and your electoral rolls to prove that how numbers, there are such voters which are inflated. Then you say, oh, come and give us affidavit. Then if you give affidavit, then they will say, get all the members of parliament who agree with your affidavit to sign on it. Then they will say, go ask every voter whose name has been deleted to sign. Where does this end? And then the last argument is, why don't you go to the court? Why should we go to the court? Why can't Election Commission of India on its own, without being asked by the Supreme Court of India, apply its own, ability to convince the entire, election process? In Maharashtra, mock bypolls were stopped. Mock polls were happening across the state after the results that came out. It was forcibly stopped. They wanted to do a ballot paper voting, small tehsils and all of them wanted to do.
It's like you can even have referendum. अपने आप करना चाहते हैं तो referendum भी हो सकता है. But in our country, there's no validity
No,
to that.
It wasn't to prove validity. It was to show that there is an issue. So let them come and show whatever the process is, whatever the questions are, which are the doubts in people's mind. अब timing को आप देख लो, SIR ठीक है, SIR आपका prerogative है. But अब timing देखिए ना, just 5 months before the people who could vote in the Lok Sabha Bihar elections are now probably during the state elections will be weeded out. Just 5 months before the election. I mean, those are some sticking points which honestly, if we can have a discussion on the floor of the house, it would be nice.
To most people, it seems like what happened last year with Constitution khatre mein hai, Samvidhan khatre mein hai. This year, the entire thing is vote chori. So it seems like the whole thing is a political, what should I say, a carrot stick kind of a thing कि हाँ इसको चलो issue बना देते हैं, फिर ये खत्म हो जाएगा, फिर एक और issue बना देते हैं. That gets dumped and another issue gets picked up. It seems like that to most people.
No, this is very much part of the same constitution khatre mein hai na. Aaj constitution only gives us that right to be able to vote. If that vote is being taken away from you, you are being disenfranchised, or your votes are getting inflated and you're getting multiple registrations across the country to be able to go vote and hop over in various
But it's
states.
just like Tejasvi said that then it was proved that he didn't have one he had not used only. That so he couldn't have voted on that at all. So this is what is happening. Then there is in Maharashtra also, there's that one lady who said कि मैंने तो sign ही नहीं किया. Now there's another person, I think NDTV just found that lady and who's supposed to be 100 and whatever years. She's not.
Okay, here's the case. 1 odd lakh numbers is what Shri Rahul Gandhi has given for one particular constituency. ECI is giving an answer to one such anomaly that they found from that same electoral rolls which was presented. Give us an answer to that 1 lakh inflated voters, right? Give us the answer to the 45 lakh inflated voters. Where are they coming from? Where did they go? How did they come? How did they go? How does one explain that? It is a question that arises in every person's mind.
Yeah.
So might as well, if you have all your answers, you can speak in a simple language without your 4-line ki poems and shairis that our former election commissioner used to do. Come and do it. Why are you hiding behind?
But that was Rajiv ji, no? This is Gyanesh Kumar.
वही तो मैं कह रही हूँ, उन्होंने वो फॉर्मर इलेक्शन कमिश्नर 4 लाइन में पूरी अपनी पोइट्री सुना देते थे, विपक्ष को दोष देकर कह देते थे हम पे दोष मत पाड़ो. अब आप भी आ जाइए, आप कोई अच्छी तरीके से हमें समझा दीजिए. And देखो, all of this is part of the constitutional process, and nobody is dumping any of these problems. The problems are very much there. Let me also tell you, opposition voices who speak up go to get ED cases against them, CBI cases, they go to jail. सत्येंद्र जैन का क्या हुआ अभी? इतने महीने जेल में काट लिया उन्होंने, क्या हुआ? क्लीन चिट मिला. संजय राउत जी को आपने 3 महीने जेल में डाला, और फिर जब आया तो कोर्ट ने फटकार लगाई ED officials पे के whatever the civil case which you've turned criminal. So there,
That
there
happens
are,
in our
you know,
country.
there are
no,
ways
and
that
this
are
is
being chipped
pathetic.
away.
It's not now. CWG, nothing has happened.
I'll tell you how
Usse pehle before
right.
nothing happened.
No, just to
Nobody goes to
just
jail for 2G.
Again, 2G, etc. We still don't know. Nobody got convicted. Nothing happened. But that became the most important point for the media to talk. Media was talking very independently. Now, if you were to do that, INB will just force your channel down or bring your website down. That is happening. So listen, I'm just trying to tell you ways how things are being reduced and we are being asked to treat that as normal. This is not normal. So let's say emergency में इंदिरा गांधी जी ने कुछ किया, कब तक हम वही राग लापेंगे? उससे कुछ इतिहास से सीखेंगे ना. गलती हुई, खामियाजा भुगता, फिर से जीत कराई. तो हम ये कहेंगे, अच्छा तुम हमसे कैसे सवाल पूछ सकते हो क्योंकि 1950 के दशक में 1970 के दशक में तुमने ये किया. अब तुम्हारे सामने प्रोसेस है. अब देश बदल चुका है. देश के हाथ में इंटरनेट है. इंटरनेट से वो पूरी दुनिया देख रहे हैं और वो सवाल कर रहे हैं. But you're active. So I'll also tell you, I had a big problem with us having so many accounts being shut down the way they were being shut down during that Operation Sindoor. And what was happening is, Smita, we were living in an echo chamber. Those who have VPN were seeing what was happening. We were living in an echo chamber because those accounts have been blocked here. But those accounts haven't stopped talking to the world. So the world is seeing another narrative altogether. That is extremely problematic. कि हम लोग इंसुलेटेड हैं, हम सोच रहे हैं चलिए सब चुप हो गए बदमाश जो हमारे देश के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, पर वो सारे बदमाश पूरी दुनिया में वही नैरेटिव फैला रहे थे, बंद नहीं हुआ था.
And there was no counter.
There was no counter. Just blocking or shutting your eyes to a problem does not normalize the situation.
And the problem also is that now that you've shut it, opening it
is going to create a controversy. Actually, I told the IT minister the same thing, that, there has to be a well thought out mechanism. Now, you blocking Reuters, like, oh, we had given it during Operation Sindoor. But why would you want to block a Reuters? Reuters is viewed worldwide. So even if, let's say, 1.4 billion people, if they are on the internet of my country, 140 crore people are on the internet and they don't get to see what Reuters is saying. But Reuters has a huge, tremendous following. Why can't IT or MEA come out with a statement that this Reuters news is absolutely fact-free?
Which they are doing
Name
now,
and shame them.
Huh.
And that is it, that India would know, the world would know, the world would use that screenshot and it would force Reuters on its own to take down that particular tweet. How difficult is it for you all to coordinate this better?
I think it was taken off after a few hours, the ban was taken off.
Yeah, because it was done during so-and-so time. But this is what I say, you insulate the country, but you're not able to silence their narrative to the world, right?
Okay.
So this is what is happening.
I get what you're saying.
So you're taking constitutional safeguards, chipping them away little by little and normalizing this and thinking that, okay, now we have them under control. Democracy is not about control. Democracy is being able to agree to disagree. That is what I'm saying.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, we have 3 more. Okay, go ahead.
मैम मेरा सवाल इंडिया ब्लॉक से है. जैसे मॉनसून सेशन से पहले जो आम आदमी पार्टी थी उन्होंने बोला कि हम अलग हैं, तो हमें ऐसा लगा कि इंडिया ब्लॉक लड़खड़ा रही है, उनमें जो समन्वय की कमी है, कोऑर्डिनेशन की कमी है. बट जो कल हुआ वोट थेफ्ट को लेकर, वोट चोरी को लेकर जो प्रोटेस्ट हुआ, इज दिस अ स्ट्रेटजी टू रिवाइव इंडिया ब्लॉक? और इसी से रिलेटेड एक और सवाल है मैम, जो अगर राज ठाकरे के साथ आपकी अलायंस होती है तो विल ही बी अ पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया ब्लॉक? ये क्वेश्चन है.
सो दो चीज़ें हैं. जो इंडिया ब्लॉक है वो बिल्कुल जब से इलेक्शन हुए हैं उसके बाद से पार्लियामेंट सेशन के समय पे हम लोग सब अलाइनमेंट में ही काम कर रहे हैं और काफ़ी कॉमन इश्यूज, इवन इफ़ यू नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द इंडिया ब्लॉक जैसे आम आदमी पार्टी, पर उनके इश्यूज भी सिमिलर हैं और वो ऑपोजिशन में हैं, सो दे अलाइन विद अस ऑन दोज इश्यूज. तो उनका इशू बेस्ड है. तो कल का जो डिनर भी हुआ था LOP की तरफ से, उसमें भी संजय सिंह जी शामिल हुए थे और काफ़ी आम आदमी पार्टी के सांसद शामिल हुए थे. सो वो अलायंस मोर और लेस इज इन प्लेस. वो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. प्रॉब्लम आएगी जब स्टेट वाइज इलेक्शंस होते हैं, तो वी हैव सीन दैट प्रॉब्लम्स इमर्ज. इवन इन महाराष्ट्र वी सॉ दैट हैपन. तो कैसे उसको स्मूथ इन करना है प्रोसेस को, इज समथिंग जो बैठकर अब ये इंडिया ब्लॉक के जो लीडरशिप हैं सबको मिलकर डिसाइड करना पड़ेगा. दूसरा अबाउट राज ठाकरे जी, आई थिंक उद्धव साहब इज़ ऑलरेडी सेड कि हम दोनों केपेबल हैं, कि हम दोनों फिगर आउट करेंगे कैसे अलायंस चलेगा, किसके साथ चलेगा, कहाँ पे इंडिया अलायंस में किस पोजीशन में रहेगा, वो हम लोग हैंडल कर लेंगे व्हेन द टाइम कम्स टू इट. बट एब्सोल्युटली हम लोग ऑल ऑफ अस आर कमिटेड कि ये जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल इश्यूज आ रहे हैं उसकी कहीं ना कहीं मॉरल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी एंड एक्चुअल टोटल अकाउंटेबिलिटी और रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी लेने की ज़रूरत है, और हमें एज ऑपोजिशन उनको अकाउंटेबल रखना होगा.
You better prepare. I'm going to ask you to mimic some people.
Ma'am, opposition is going all out in two topics. पहले SIR, now it is vote theft पे. तो isn't that कि SIR के वजह से मतलब it is becoming a mandate. Vote theft के allegation में SIR should be happen because in my personal case मेरे family में मेरे father की age 50 है and in the electoral roll my grandfather's age is 55. So doesn't this becomes a mandate कि SIR हर state में होना चाहिए?
नहीं, SIR का मैंडेट तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी कहा, इलेक्शन कमीशन को है, पर सवाल बस ये उठता है टाइमिंग को लेकर, इंटेंट को लेकर. टाइमिंग और इंटेंट में इफ़ यू नोटिस कि जो डॉक्यूमेंट्स को भी लेकर बात कही कि आप पासपोर्ट लाइए, ये लाइए, वो लाइए. अब पासपोर्ट गाँव में किसके पास होते हैं? या तो आप पासपोर्ट मैंडेटरी कर दें कि सभी 12 ऐसे डॉक्यूमेंट्स हैं. कितनों के पास डोमिसाइल सर्टिफिकेट नहीं है, फिर डोमिसाइल सर्टिफिकेट के लिए
12 के 12 नहीं चाहिए, 12 में से कोई एक चाहिए.
हाँ, तो उसमें बस ये था कि इसको भी इंक्लूड कर दो. सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने भी ये मांग की थी, आधार और राशन कार्ड को एक्नॉलेज कर लो. वो भी अब इलेक्शन कमीशन ने मना कर दिया कि नहीं, हम नहीं करेंगे. तो अगर आधार आपका आइडेंटिटी प्रूफ नहीं, सिटीजनशिप प्रूफ नहीं, रेजिडेंस प्रूफ नहीं, तो आधार है क्या के लिए?
वो तो NRIs को भी मिल सकता है ना. व्हेन दे कम OCIs can get it, OCI का can get an आधार कार्ड, वो सब होता है. सो आधार doesn't become anyway, it should be, it ought to be, पता नहीं, but then this is a very weird situation.
नहीं, आधार कार्ड को आप इलेक्शन कार्ड से जोड़ने के लिए तैयार हैं, पर आधार कार्ड को आप मान्यता देने को तैयार नहीं है. ये कहीं डाइकोटमी है ना. और टाइमिंग 5 महीने पहले विधानसभा के आपको ये करने की ज़रूरत क्यों पड़ी? ये लोकसभा से पहले आप एक वन टाइम सब पूरे देश में कर लेते. ये दिस इज लीडिंग टूवर्ड्स अ प्रॉब्लम. अब देखिए, दिल्ली पुलिस का एक नोटिफिकेशन आया कि वो बांग्लादेशी भाषा बोल रहे हैं. आप देश की वन ऑफ द ऑफिशियल 22 लैंग्वेजेस में बंगाली है, आप उसी को बांग्लादेशी करार कर दें. फिर जो भी गॉड फॉरबिड कोई भी आप बंगाली स्पीकिंग माइनॉरिटी को देखेंगे, आप कहेंगे ये तो बांग्लादेशी है. ये भी तो पीपल आर लिविंग इन दैट फियर टू.
There is a problem of Bangladeshi.
Yeah, there is a problem of Bangladeshi. Nobody is denying that. But using that as a tool to disenfranchise people, that could be problematic. That is all I'm saying.
Okay.
Ma'am, in situations like these when independent institutions somewhat seem unresponsive, how do you as an opposition leader deal with the whole democratic process or have faith in the whole democratic process?
No, it's the faith that keeps us alive, literally. That belief that we are fighting to keep these institutions alive, even if they are not at any point in time working in our favor. But yes, to see institutions undermined or maligned, that is problematic for me. And that is what gives us the ability to be able to push back, to fight. That is why India chose a democratic model. That if you have a treasury bench, that treasury bench can be held accountable by the opposition. So what we are trying to do is something that is the fight that we are fighting, whether with regards to SIR, whether about constitution. Now, for example, the entire election commission issue of handing over our party name and symbol to the party which actually took away our MLAs and MPs and said we will decide at a later date has been pending for over 2 years in the Supreme Court. Shouldn't those be prioritized by the Supreme Court? Because it also reflects poorly on the other decisions that will be taken. Just after our party split, we saw NCP, the same model was used. An election commission handing over the party name and symbol to the other side. The side which actually the founder member, Sharad Pawarji, is still around, and someone else goes away with the party along with the party name and symbol. So those are things that even Honorable Supreme Court can prioritize. For example, the entire, the decision that has come from the Supreme Court yesterday about the stray dogs. I think it's such a not thought through decision that within 8 weeks take them away. Where do you take them away? Where do you take these strays away? Our MCDs have failed us. Our municipal corporations have failed us. They haven't, neutered the female dogs. They don't have shelter homes. You don't have budgets for them. And then you say put them in shelter home. Where are the shelter homes? So some of those are institutions, if they are in decay or are being undermined or being overwhelmed with too much work, we will need to speak up.
But then there has to be a solution to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shelters
I
have
agree
to
with
be, this whole thing of, if the strays are not, if they're fed well, then they will not
No,
harm
I
you.
don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
And those who say that we have 6 dogs that we have given shelter to, we have 12 in our farmhouse. Oh, that's fine for you. The elitist attitude that you take.
That I agree with you. That
Yeah.
there's a genuine.
These are the people जो ऑस्ट्रेलिया में जाते हैं, जो न्यूयॉर्क में जाते हैं, जो लंदन में जाते हैं, मजे करते हैं. वहाँ पे कोई स्ट्रे डॉग तो नहीं
That's
है.
just so old style, Smita. I'm glad to see that. Huh?
No, but these are the people.
I
वहाँ पे
agree.
अगर स्ट्रे डॉग्स होगे तो तुम क्या करोगे?
नहीं, I totally agree.
हाँ.
The stray dog issue and the human dog conflict is leading to consequences, right, for human lives. It is leading to consequences. But that's a failure of our corporations.
I agree. किसी का तो है, but build 20 shelters, build 200 shelters.
Budget कहाँ है?
बजट में क्या? दिल्ली म्युनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन के पास क्या?
Veterinary budget आप देखा कर, I have to say this. I saw this.
वृक्षारोपण कर रहे हैं.
हाँ, तो वही थोड़ा अगर डाइवर्ट कर दें और कहे कि हम एनिमल वेलफेयर के लिए डालेंगे. I'll tell you, Smita, even in Mumbai, to even open a clinic for animals, free clinic, treatment clinic for animals, because my sister works very closely for stray animals, not just dogs, stray animals, which includes cows and various other animals. It is so difficult to find space and cooperation, and there's just so many processes that I know.
Look, I get what you're saying, but 10 years ago, there was this, I was at a conference and then there was an IAS officer who just turned around and said, stray cattle is such a big problem and there is going to be a huge demand for people who can run gaushalas. And he was talking to undergraduates and he said, आप में से कोई is do this course to look after gaushalas because this is going to be a big business.
And it's a business proposal.
It's a business proposal कि वो गौशाला है, उसमें से जो products निकलेंगे उसका बन सकता है बायोगैस, ये वो. He went on and on about how you can do it, and sure enough, 10 years since I attended that conversation, when he was laughed at when he suggested it, to today, when there are gaushalas being made, of course the number are less, but you are seeing that to some extent stray cattle is lesser than what it used to be 10 years back. It was an election issue in Uttar Pradesh, if you remember,
Yes, I
your
remember.
home state, original home state. But the same thing is with dogs. They attack. बेचारे वो जोमेटो वालों से पूछो, स्विगी वालों से पूछो, जो who get attacked, people who do night shifts and come, children of laborers, because the masons and the laborers are building your bridges, your flyovers, their children are sitting on the side of the flyover, they get affected.
Right.
So you going by car with food for the dogs and putting it and
That's not what I meant. What I meant was the timelines that have come.
You mean, I don't mean you.
I mean,
people-
yeah. I know you didn't mean me. What I was trying to say is that sometimes that there are institutions which need to be up to the ability to take decisions which will be able to create changes. So institutions which we are fighting back and we are fighting for is something which is the responsibility of the opposition, and it would be nice if even the centre at once in a while actually relooks and rethinks. Because right now they could be in the government, sooner or later they would be out of the government. And the whole way, and for example, many say, when he accused Chidambaram ji that you were the one who introduced FEMA, etc., such tough laws, and you're facing the brunt of it. So exactly, think with that purpose, that it's the climate
He
change.
made the money, no? Cauliflower in his terrace he was growing. So
I don't know
it
much about
happens.
that, but I was just trying to make a larger point.
But Karti, his son, is on the other side, on the stray dog thing.
Yes.
He's been running that campaign for quite some time.
And he met the Prime Minister also.
He also met. Yeah. So what is going on with?
No, he met last.
But there are lots of people from the BJP who are saying that हम लोग इतने साल से कार्यकर्ता हैं, काम कर रहे हैं, घिस पिट रहे हैं पार्टी के लिए, और मोदी जी प्रियंका जी से मिलती हैं.
Oh, is it? ऐसा इनको ऐसा दुख हो रहा है?
हाँ, दुख तो होता है.
That made me felt very satisfying.
Okay. Any other questions that you have? Okay.
मैम, अभी थोड़ी देर पहले हम लोग बात कर रहे थे कि आप बहुत अच्छा मिमिक करते हैं. बिलावल भुट्टो का आपने मिमिक किया. आई मस्ट से आप गाना भी बहुत अच्छा गाते हैं. कुछ साल पहले आपने आपकी कलीग स्मृति ईरानी जी के लिए गाना डेडिकेट किया था, जो बहुत वायरल हुआ था उन्हीं के शो से. अभी वो उसी शो से वापस आई हैं, तो क्या आप अपनी एक्स कलीग को कुछ रिमिक्स बनाना बनाने वाली हैं या फिर कोई
सबसे
comment
पहले
है?
तो मैं आपको हाथ जोड़कर विनम्रता से कहना चाहूँगी, वो मेरी कलीग नहीं, वो बहुत सीनियर लीडर हैं, बहुत सीनियर हैं. हम फर्स्ट टर्म MPs हैं, वो लक बाय चांस जो होता है उस तरीके के लोग हैं. उनकी सीनियरिटी अलग लेवल की है, तो कलीग नहीं है वो मेरी, सीनियर हैं. वो उनका सेकंड टर्म हो रहा है एंड इट हैज़ ब्रोकन ऑल TRP रैंकिंग्स आई बिलीव. जो उन्होंने वापस वहाँ पे गई हैं सास भी कभी बहू थी में. आई विश ऑल द वेरी बेस्ट. नहीं एक बार कान पकड़ लिया उसके बाद नहीं. Exactly, मैं ये कहूँ ANI has been at the right place at the right time.
Right. Okay. But now are you getting too proper? So you won't mimic?
No, I shall mimic, but I don't mimic tall leaders.
हाँ, तो फिर which lead? Oh, okay. So
Tall
you used to mimic tall leaders. So क्या हो जाता है?
हाँ, tall leaders उस समय पे हमें लगता था I'm a tall leader. अब थोड़ी reality check हो गया.
Okay. Who would you like to mimic? So we can guess. You mimic, and then we'll have somebody guess as to who you are mimicking.
No, I can't. I mean, someone
Doesn't
has
have
to
to
tell
be
me.
an actor. I mean, doesn't have to be a politician. Somebody you'd like.
Oh, let me just do Amitabh Bachchan ji then. रिश्तों में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते हैं. नाम है शहंशाह.
Okay.
Not bad, no?
Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Have you met him?
Yes, I did. I did.
Of course. Did you try to control him too? Who's like controlling a Shahenshah?
Yeah, रिश्ते में तो हम तुम्हारे बाप लगते types. No, I did meet him, and I remember Jaya ji once messaged me. She said, he was telling me, he was asking me who was that young beautiful lady who had come to meet you that day, and I said, oh, she's my parliament colleague, and something she said to the context, so she's a lot like me, and he's like, really? So we were joking about it. So yes, I've had a opportunity to meet him twice, and it was a very nice.
Does he talk politics at all?
Not at all.
You know,
Not at
that's
all.
what people say, that he stays clear of politics.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, he was barely there. I mean, I barely got a chance to have conversation with him, but it was anything but politics. It was a lot to do with KBC. You can see his heart is so engaged with KBC.
Really?
कौन बनेगा करोड़पति?
Huh. That even at this age, he just wants to continue doing KBC.
It's beautiful, actually. The relationship that he enjoys with his audience is actually nobody could take over. If you remember, there was a phase where Shah Rukh Khan came on.
Yeah.
Couldn't manage it.
Yeah.
So there's some bond that you see with KBC and him, and that tradition that has continued.
You've met with Dr. Manmohan Singh also, right? You have happy memories with that meeting. Tell us about that.
It was so. It was in Karnataka. I was, handling some part of the communication, and I got to know that former Prime Minister
With the Congress Party at that time.
with the Congress Party, and that Dr. Manmohan Singh ji would be coming for a press conference, and so we were at the KPCC, and I was so excited because he was someone I mean, I continue to look up to, someone like him, knowledgeable and man of few words, and. When he came, I so distinctly remember I was waiting by the lift to kind of receive him. And as soon as he came out and he said, Namaskar, you were someone I've been wanting to meet. I was like, no, there's some confusion here. It's not me. So I said, sir, so I thought this was a mistake. I let it pass. I said, so nice of you, sir, and all that. Then after the press conference, when he did the press conference, I was sitting next to two more MPs, and he just stood up, he turned around towards me, and he said, it was so lovely meeting you, and I've been wanting to meet you. You're doing a tremendous job. And the second time I thought he's not mistaken. Probably he's saying this about me. And he said, my wife is very fond of your sarees. And I was like, and happiness was hitting the roof at that time. Then I asked Murli ji politely. Murli ji used to be with him all the time. And I said, Murli ji, I hope he knows that I'm Priyanka Chaturvedi. He's like, of course he knows that you're Priyanka Chaturvedi. He's been very impressed with the way you speak and put parties front forward. And that's why he's paying you the compliment. It's not a mistaken identity. So that memory has stayed with me forever. And after that, he was having a very frugal lunch, and he invited us to his room. to sit with him and have a conversation with him. So he was a very, very dignified, graceful.
So
Human being.
I think now I can share this information. I hope Murli ji forgives me. But there was once I asked him, कि क्या बात हुई आपकी? Because PM was saying something to Murli. And so he said, his diet is very strictly controlled by his wife because he's very highly diabetic. And he had just had his bypass surgery and all that. So she was very strict with his diet. जब वो travel करते थे, उनका आटा वगैरह साथ में जाता था. तो he wanted a particular type of biscuit. So he just asked Murli to get it. And Murli had to smuggle it in and bring it. And he said, "Batana mat." It was like very sweet.
And there was this,
he was terrified of her control.
I'm sure. And there was this travel bag that he had, which had just his initials written on it, really old bag. And I was like, is this the bag he carries? So I was told that he's been carrying this for several years, and this is the only bag he carries. So, I mean, someone so low-key, so...
very frugal.
Very frugal.
Yeah.
So, very happy memories. And, when the first day when he came to the Rajya Sabha, he was also in the Rajya Sabha, but because of his ill health, he wouldn't come often. But when he saw me, I saw genuine happiness in him, where he said, I'm so happy to see you here. And those are things which, probably make you feel better.
Yeah.
After, despite all the things that come my way, those memories are something which I shall forever cherish, simply because the people I looked up to, idolized, also felt that I have something to contribute towards nation building.
Like this was way back.
It was.
Yeah.
So it was very nice and
you
really
were
nice.
very young spokesperson at that stage. But the sarees thing, please, I have to ask you, since Gursharan ji admired your sarees, what is it about women politicians every day wearing this stunning sarees that all of you come with? Do you all talk to each other कि आज मैं ये color, आज मैं वो color?
No, colors. So by the way, colors something that Sushma ji started a trend. Day of the week का color होता था. तो मुझे तो ये पता नहीं था. I've never followed that. So the first session when I went to the parliament, though I was just going about my own business. So one of the parliament secretariat person came to me and he said, "Don't you follow the color?" And I used to see across the aisle, all of these are on one particular day, everyone's wearing some shade of green. And on our side, I was seeing some people wearing shade of green. I used to say, is there a color coding in the parliament that happens? So he came and told me once, just casually. I did not have the, I was not too confident to ask somebody about this. So the secretariat guy came to me and he said, "Priyanka ji, you don't follow the day of the week concept, color of the week, day concept." And I said, "What is that?" He said, "Every day there's a color assigned." So then I started to notice. So no, we don't discuss any of these, but yes, we do put on our best sarees because I think
हमारा crew है ना देखने के लिए.
हाँ, वही मैंने कहा वही तो है that keeps us interested.
And the handbags also, no? Who's carrying which designer bag? Or वो very stylishly trying to hide the logo, and it doesn't work. There are
I think we should normalize that, just to put people under scrutiny like that is a bit unfair, don't you think? ठीक है, I like my handbags, I like my sarees, I like my lipstick
Bobby
shade
Brown
also.
lipstick.
Oh God, we think alike.
No, this was Mahua Moitra who said this, right, about her lipstick brand.
Yeah, because
So
of
it
the
became-
controversy led to.
Over that. Okay, any other question? And okay.
Ma'am, my question is on Shashi Tharoor. He is being sidelined for putting nation first over his party. Do you think he will switch party?
Oh, I can't read his mind, but I think he's appreciated by the world for the knowledge he brings to the table and for the things he says. And I don't know if he's being sidelined by the party or he's also staying out of that, the onslaught that's coming in terms of media narratives, in terms of expectation of him. Time will tell, but I doubt he's too much of an Nehruvian to look at going anywhere. But again, I'm no one to say kya hota hai tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I'll tell you one more thing. Just 2 days before I left the party, I had done this singing press conference, which only A and I recorded.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah.
So, in conclusion, I just have to ask you now, you've spent 5 years now as a Delhiite. even though your heart is probably as a Mumbaikar. So, what is it about Delhi that drives you crazy and you miss Mumbai? And what is it about Mumbai that you want to run away and come to Delhi at times?
I think Mumbai, the Mumbai is the most chilled out city. So if we are meeting somewhere, we've had this discussion, we've laughed our hearts out, we've gossiped about the world, it will not go to a third person the next day. In Delhi, I learnt it a very hard way. I used to blah blah blah, thinking it's Mumbai, and I'm chatting away with people, with members of parliament coming from various parts of the country, and I'm just randomly speaking, which I still do, and I suffer the consequences for it also. But I used to do that, and it was a lesson I got from Jaya ji. She said, तुम इतना जोर से आकर Central Hall में बोलती हो. Now you just see, you've said something here, it will come back to you 180 degree घूमकर. It will come in a very different form, format, and shape and shade.
She's a fine one to advise. वो भी तो बोलती हैं.
हाँ, नहीं बोलती हैं, जो है वो बोलती हैं. जो distorted version आता है घूम फिर कर, वो बहुत अलग होता है.
मतलब इससे ज्यादा क्या होगा distortion जया जी के सामने?
वो तो आपके सामने बोल रही हैं. What I'm trying to say is,
the original is only like that.
I've said something to you just now, and we've had it in good faith, fun or whatever. Tomorrow it goes from you to her, from her to her, from her to her, and he comes and tells me, Priyanka, you were saying like this? Everything passes around in Delhi.
Yeah.
Everything. Whose house I am in, what I have spoken. So,
I know of the parties you have, but you don't invite me.
No, I don't have any parties in my house because it's a vegetarian house and no one wants to visit a vegetarian home.
In Delhi that also?
Yeah, in Delhi. It's like, जैसे कि मैंने so
तो लोग खान मार्केट में खा के फिर आपके घर आते हैं?
नहीं मैं सबके घर चली जाती हूँ, मेरे घर नहीं आता. But no, I stopped doing that after 1 year.
That is so Chaturvedi thing to do.
That's such yeah, Chaturvedi. I wanted to bring in something else, but I kept quiet. वो यजमान type होते हैं ना कि हमें खिलाओ.
उनके घर में पहुंच जाते हैं. Yeah, but so that irritates you. What about food?
Food, though, I think I'm a Mumbai girl, totally out.
Really?
It's the Mumbai food. I'm not a big foodie, but give me a Mumbai sandwich and Mumbai masala, vada pav and all that over all your charts and pani puris of the world.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
Are we going to take offense?
Everyone's in shock.
We're in shock.
हमने इसको क्यों बुलाया?
कि दिल्ली का street food is not good enough. But then this is a Delhi versus Bombay thing.
No, I think y'all are like way notches above in fashion. I would say Delhi is like way above. The coolest clothes and the coolest fashion I've seen. Women carry out the most loveliest, different wardrobes that they have, seasonal wardrobes that they have. It took me time to figure that out also.
कि silk अंदर रखो,
silk अंदर रखो, cotton बाहर निकालो. मैं तो कभी-कभी summer की धूप में भी मुझे silk साड़ी अपनी कोई अच्छी लगी कि इसका color अच्छा लग रहा है, आज पहन लेती हूँ. And then suddenly realizing the concept, and everyone's looking at me, what's wrong with her?
Right.
So your fashion is so on point, right? Which Mumbai is very casual about.
So this I think in rest of India they don't understand, even though they might have seasons, that Delhi has a very, for women, not so much for men. But women have like silks को अंदर रख के cottons को बाहर निकालना is a big exercise.
Task. And silks को धूप लगाकर फिर
लपेट के
अंदर रखना, ऊपर चढ़ाना और फिर अपने कॉटन्स निकालना. It's like
शॉलों को एयर करना.
And they have the patience and time for it. हम लोग ऐसे हैं उसी एक साड़ी में पूरा दिन घूम लेते हैं. They're like looking at you like, boss, couldn't you spare 5 minutes for yourself?
So
for your maintenance and upkeep.
Delhi crowd would go to Bombay and say कि ये लोग तो नायलॉन पहनते हैं,
ये क्या कॉटन में शॉर्ट्स पहन कर घूमते रहते हैं, कोई फैशन
या फैंसी रेस्टोरेंट में निकर में बैठे रहते हैं. It's like, no, please wear trousers. Why do you have to come in these cargos are not acceptable.
My son ends up wearing track pants and going to a restaurant, and I'm like, I won't be seen dead with you like this.
In Delhi?
No, even in Mumbai, कि कुछ तो sense रखो. He's like, no one else is judging me. Who are you to? मैंने कहा, some sense. So
from Delhi Mumbai flight, if you take, you can tell the Mumbaikars who are boarding the flight, and you can see the Delhiites who are boarding the flight.
Totally.
That because the Mumbaikars are already in the Mumbai mode.
And the second thing I would give to Delhi is the ability to bring people together and have a good time. Again, Mumbai lives in silos. Delhi doesn't have that. Delhi is open-hearted, generous, and wanting to,
You think that?
Yes, it is. It is a lot more.
I thought like Bombay, we have the same kind of culture कि South Bombay के लोग, suburbia को नहीं accept करते,
उसके लिए तो visa
townies
entry
and
लगती है.
and Delhi में भी
Supriya
ऐसे.
ji and I keep joking about this. She stays in south of Mumbai. I'm like up north. So she's like, sorry, I'll need a visa to enter your. So we joke about this.
So Delhi में भी वही होता है. The South Delhi types saying will not mix with the West Delhi. And we had Suhail in the program, and he was like, Noida is just a nala. So it's like that, Gurgaon versus Noida and South Delhi versus West Delhi. These snobberies are there, I think, in most big cities.
Or maybe because I've come from a place where I haven't seen that part, and I've just seen people opening their homes and opening their
You're an MP, they'll want
families.
you there.
Could be, but yeah.
You
that
tick
is a
all those
difference,
boxes, no?
Could be.
I
forgot that privilege.
Of course. So when you come in, obviously कि MP आई हैं तो फिर obviously that.
चलो at least कुछ तो privilege बाकी है. वरना हम केंद्रीय विद्यालय के admissions को recommend नहीं कर सकते हैं. हम कहीं admissions recommend नहीं कर सकते हैं. That is something which kind of rattles you. Train reservations भी अब थोड़ा लगने लगा है. They look at you, फिर से आ गई reservation, and they're not for me, right? They're for lots
So
of
once your
people.
term ends, you become like mortals like all of us.
Yeah, without a diplomatic passport and having to struggle for visa.
So does that feel that, oh my God, I'm going to become
No,
it doesn't.
You've seen me. I'm like, ठीक है. I've had this stint. I got to be able to serve in a way I wanted to. And now the next journey awaits. I don't know what it is, but it is going to be a plan B.
Okay. All the best
Thank you
for
so
plan
much.
B, if plan B happens or if another political party grabs you there.
Thank you so much.
All the best. Thank you so much for coming. Thanks. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for watching or listening to this edition of the NI podcast with Smita Prakash. Do watch or subscribe on whichever channel you have seen or heard this. Namaste. Jai Hind. Click here to watch the previous episodes.